Picard episode 2 got any better.
Sheer fucking hubris. You think you could just waltz back in here and be entrusted with taking men and women into space?
Yeah, I guess it didn't. I guess it really, really didn't, now did it? That's Star Trek now. That's what Star Trek is. It is a bunch of lens flares, F-bombs, disrespect for anything that's come before it. And yet, I wasn't going to review anymore. But then I decided, I realized something, and I literally get paid to watch TV so you guys don't have to. So I at least owe it to you guys to check out as much of the second episode as I can make it through. I did speed it up to actually make it through that garbage, because it opens with, well, we'll tell you what it opens with in a second. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only. The original, the still under the weather, your favorite YouTube Harpy. How to get the name Harpy? Well, a bunch of Discovery fans decided to call me names because that's what they do now, because that's what Discovery fans do. And it looks like that they're the same target audience for Picard. Oh yeah, they are. In this episode, it starts out with a bunch of androids taking their revenge on being made fun of. Because, all right. Didn't they decide to outlaw the use of holograms as basically unskilled labor? Okay, so first off, they're building androids on Utopia Planitia for the shipyards on Mars or whatever it is. But no, they were just getting made fun of a few too many times, and they decided to mow everybody down. Now, forgive me for not being able to connect the whole why Romulans are on a reclaimed Borg ship de-assimilating people. I had to zone out on that one because the F-bombs and the Romulan, or not the android uprising crap was enough to kind of just break my brain because this am Star Trek now.
I like science.
Yeah, we're about one season away from just somebody's ass farting on screen. And that's what Star Trek has kind of de-evolved to. I call it remedial Trek for people who aren't really interested in lore. They like the lens flares. They need that lens flare to know when to look up from texting. And if you watch TV that way, you know what? I'm not going to judge you on that, but that's who this is actually for. This isn't for people who pay attention, and that's why I try and watch it with a few distractions so I can get the full viewing experience as the show's intended, right? Well, okay, so Picard goes to the Admiral at Starfleet because he wants a ship or something. And that's great. He also consults his old doctor to clear him from the Stargazer, not Dr. Crusher, because as we've heard in the spoilers and rumors and leaks, she died off screen. There's also this whole excuse that Picard has to his Romulan house servants because, this show, as you know, I got to do a little sidetrack here. As you guys know, Picard himself, Patrick Stewart, has said that this is going to deal with the whole Trump and Brexit and immigration and all of these things, because Orange Man bad. We know that. We got it. And, all of these things in the worst possible way. I mean, they're about 2 episodes away from showing a whole bunch of Romulans standing outside of Space Home Depot. That's kind of how they're portraying these people. Yeah, I know. They got them out picking his fields and the crops, or are they androids? I can't remember which one. They got Romulans serving him coffee. Really? Okay. It's cute that this is like when Kelly Osbourne got on The View and started making a whole bunch of really, really bad comments about, we need immigration because who else would bus our tables? Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. A bunch of I guess well-meaning, not very bright people who are watching this with, the message of, you treat people like people and not like less than, but they're not quite smart enough to convey that. So we get F-bombs in Picard, and we get the other thing is it's all a bunch of horny teenagers trying to jump each other's bones when it's not old man Picard getting talked down to because he's the old white guy, right? That's what it feels like to me on this show. They're trying so hard for this 20-something demographic. And this show really reminds me of soap operas. Okay, soap operas did this a lot. This reminds me of when a soap opera would come in and couple a bunch of people together, and then they'd have babies, and then, you know, because like all your 30-year-old soap opera stars, they get a little too old for everybody, and it's one of those things where you've got to drag it out as long as possible. And throw as much stuff on screen as you can in the slowest way possible. And so when your soap opera actors hit around their 30s, they start coupling them up, or they get married, divorced, whatever, have a bunch of kids, and then 10 years later, those kids are in their 20s, while your soap opera actors are in their 40s now, so that, you know, they age up the kids really quickly so they can have their little teenager drama, so they can bring in the next generation of teeny boppers to come in and look and watch their stuff, right? And that's what they're doing in Picard, I think, because they're letting soap opera writers write Star Trek now. And we've been seeing the same stuff with Discovery. Oh, Lord, this is a hard one to sit through, but I did speed it up because, you know, I don't have 45 minutes to sit there and try and decode this drivel. It's not good. It's not intelligent. Yeah, there's a few little moments here and there where I would like to see Star Trek, you know, when it's Patrick Stewart. You know, when he there's a moment he puts on a comm badge and I'm like, okay, this is kind of Star Trek-ish. This is sort of what they would do on Star Trek. He would be out there trying to save the galaxy. He would be out there. Hey, Starfleet would not turn into this xenophobic, anti-Romulan mess of no. Starfleet wouldn't do that. Starfleet was better than that, and not only that, the Federation's made up of a lot of different aliens, a lot of them. So this whole idea that they're just so anti-Romulan is very, very anti-Star Trek. And the fact that they had to break how Star Trek worked just to tell this story is probably one of the biggest problems with Star Trek, like modern Trek. You know, like the Discovery era stuff and the JJ stuff.
I like science.
Yeah. We all like science, Spock. Shut up. That is the biggest problem I have with this. And, you know, there's not even any, like, palate cleansing, you know, lesbians drinking coffee or anything. So for a show that wants to be so inclusive and all of these things, they're just not. They're really missing the mark on this one. They don't even have like a baby Yoda to give us.
Do the magic hand thing. Come on, baby. Do the magic hand thing.
Aw, he's so cute. He's so cute. I love baby Yoda so much. Star Trek Picard needs a baby Yoda. I'm tempted to pull up the baby Data thing, but I can't find that anywhere quickly. If you guys have seen it, it's really, really creepy. They just photoshopped Data's face on top of baby Yoda, and they have him floating in the pod following Patrick Stewart around in the field of the burned down vineyard. You know, they really rebuilt that vineyard after it burned down, and his brother was killed in the fire, and his nephew, and pretty much his whole family, except I guess his sister-in-law. But, you know, I guess they didn't see that movie. That was just a little mention on, I want to say Generations. They probably didn't watch that. What have they watched? They've watched The Cage. They probably watched First Contact, and they probably watched Nemesis, and they probably watched, what was the bad one? Insurrection. They probably watched those. They probably skipped over Generations, which I liked quite a bit. I liked First Contact, too. Don't get me wrong. I have a soft spot for some of the Next Gen movies, even though that's really when Next Gen kind of started going downhill, was the movies. It was not nearly as good as the TV show. And these are really sequels to the movies. They're sequels to the JJ 2009 Star Trek movie. But yeah, I didn't really want to sit through another episode of this. But no, I came to the conclusion of, yeah, I literally get paid to watch this stuff, so you guys don't have to. And it's not that bad of a job to have, all things considered. I get to just sit there and pick apart Star Trek, which is something I would do anyway, but I used to do it with much more enthusiasm. And like, oh, cool, what cool new thing are we getting from Star Trek? And with the Discovery era stuff and Picard, it is not an exciting thing to do anymore because I've been threatened too many times. I've had too many people on my ass, stalking me, harassing me, bullying me online on the other side. And that's part of why I started covering Star Trek, was getting into it with the Discovery fans who are less than accepting of people who are critical and like to jump right to, saying that you don't like the color of the woman's skin, even though the fact that this character of Michael Burnham from Discovery would be crap no matter what color, gender, whatever she is. If it were a white dude, it would still be a crap character, because we don't need these little self-insert fantasy fan fiction sort of versions of Star Trek. And pretty much that's what we're getting. We're getting this. We're getting these for this kind of teenage girl demographic of daddy doesn't understand me and it would be great if daddy were Data. What if Data were my dad? Oh, if Data were my dad, but no, but he's dead. So Captain Picard has to raise me. And that's what we're getting with this one. And like the twin chick of Doge, I guess, who died in the last episode. Yeah, I turned it off after 15 minutes for the first episode, but I watched Red Letter Media's review of it, so I know what happened after I turned it off. And basically, it was a 20-minute long action scene. Yay! And the girl that Picard is sworn to protect dies horribly, on fire, screaming in the most hilarious way possible after she force jumps up a flight of stairs. Because Star Wars.
You can't stop me, I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
And that's what they're trying to do. This is all still for the Twilight demographic. Every one of these shows is daddy doesn't love me. What if my daddy were Sarek and Spock were my brother? What if I were adopted? Oh, and we need to appeal to the diverse crowd, so we can't have it be, a little white girl. We're going to hide behind diversity here, even though the character would be crap no matter what. This is what they do on this modern Star Trek, and it is all them trying to make Twilight. I have an article out. Stay tuned. We're going to do a whole video on why modern Star Trek and Star Wars and everything else are basically trying to make Twilight, because that's where they're still stuck in. They're 10 years out of date with this mess. They're still trying to make Twilight. And it's disgusting. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Did you watch it? I don't know if I'm even going to be like really, really reading through these, because I just get slammed with people who want to attack me over my opinion on Picard or Discovery or any of this modern garbage Trek. I call it remedial Trek. It's for people who don't like Trek. It is made for people who don't like Star Trek in the first place, by people that don't like Star Trek. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. I am Mecha Random 42. Sorry for my voice. I'm still sick. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!